Okay, now we're going to go through and do a review on Chapter 10, and I will do both Chapter 10.1 and 10.2 in this one recording. But 10.1 and 10.2, all you are doing is doing conversions, for which we've already done previously with the household measurements, but now you're just going to be doing conversions using the apothecary volume and weight equivalences. So the minim, I do want people to know, let's see, the symbols, which are on page 257 on table 10.1. Okay. Um, those, it tells you like a minim is going to be kind of like the cursive M. Your fluid dram is going to be F with the kind of, I'm not for sure what symbol that is, the sum symbol, and F for just fluid ounce. Um, Also, fluid ounce could be wrote that way, in which this fluid dram and the fluid ounce could be mixed up sometimes. So you just want to make sure you see the two on this one, only one up here. So know the differences between those. A scruple, of course, is this symbol. A grain is GR. Be sure not to confuse that with gram. Well, gram is just a G. Grain is GR. Okay. So those are some of the ones that we're going to be looking at and going through. Also, I'm not going to put on here, but you also need to know table 10.2, which tells you that the equivalences. So 60 minimums, of course, is going to be equal to 1 fluid dram, and so forth. And I'm not going to go through the whole chart because you have them there in your book on page 258. Okay. But make sure that you are familiar with those. It goes from that down to 4 quarts to 1 gallon, 20 grains equals 1 scruple, stuff like that. So you're just going to be converting between the apothecary units to measure for volume. And they may throw in a household measure every now and then, like the quarts and gallons and pints. So I'm just going to start going through some of the problem sets just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be doing here. And it's going to be the long conversions. And I gave you a shortcut earlier, but I'm going to show it to you again. So question number 1, and this is going to be on page 260. You are to convert 6 gallons over to apothecary fluid ounces. Oops. Let me write that a little bit better. Sorry about that. That still does it very good. So, but this is the apothecary one. So what you want to do first, you want to look in that chart that you had previously on page 258. And what I usually do is I know I have gallons, so I'm going to start with the 6 gallons. And I will keep adding to my plus. Remember, nothing goes underneath it. Okay. If you have gallons here, you need gallons down here. So I look at my chart and I go, okay, what is gallons equal to? 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. Okay, but this isn't quarts, so I keep going. 4 quarts here, quarts here. So I look at my chart. What is quarts equal to? 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. Okay, I can't stop yet because that's not pints. Go back. Pints here, pints here. 1 pint is equal to 16 fluid drams. Okay, and I have fluid drams here, and I have fluid drams, I mean not drams, fluid ounces here, fluid ounces there in the apothecary. So now I can stop. Okay, so then you just multiply across on the bottom. There's 1. 6 times 4 times 2 times 16 is 768. So your answer would be 768 fluid ounces. So 6 gallons is equal to 768 fluid ounces. Number 2, you're going to convert 1 fluid ounce, 3 fluid drams and 7 minimums to just the minimums. Okay, so what I do is I convert each one to minimums and then add them all together. This one's already in it, so you don't have to go any further with that one. So 1 fluid ounce. Okay, if I have fluid ounces here, you have to have fluid ounces here of the apothecary. Okay, so I'll look at my chart and I say, okay, 1 fluid ounce is equal to 6 fluid drams. But I can't stop because I want minimums. So if I have fluid drams there, I have to have fluid drams here. And then I look at my chart, what is fluid drams equal to? 1 fluid dram is equal to 6 minimums. And that's what I'm looking for, so I can stop right there for this one. Okay, so 1 times 6 times 60 would be 360 divided by 1, be 360 minims. Okay, now I'm going to work on this second one. You have 3 fluid drams. Okay, and then if you look in your chart, you have drams here, you're going to need drams here. 1 fluid dram is equal to 60 minims. Okay, and we can stop because that's what we want. So 3 times 60 would be 180 divided by 1 would be 180 minims. Okay, so all we do now is we add up our minims and we're going to add 7 to it. So 7 or 360 plus 180 plus 7. If you add those up, it should equal 547 minims. Okay, we'll do one more in 10.1. We'll do number 8. Okay, number 8 is wanting you to convert 6 pints over to fluid drams. Okay, so if you go in here, go ahead and put your cross up. Nothing goes at the bottom. What you have here, 6 pints. Pints here, pints will go down here. You look in your chart. Pints is equal to what? 1 pint is equal to 16 fluid ounces of the apothecary. So can't stop yet because we need drams, not ounces. So if you have ounces there, ounces has to go here. And look at your chart. 1 fluid ounce is equal to 6 fluid drams. And that's what we're looking for, so we can stop. 6 times 16 times 6 is 576, and 1 times 1 is 1. So it's 576 fluid drams. And you do all 10 of those that way. Okay. Next, for section 10.2, you're doing the same thing. You're converting. You just have a different chart. You have table. Make sure you know table 10.3. So you're going to be doing conversions between the apothecary and the metric unit. So it's going to give you fluid drams to teaspoons to milliliters. So 1 fluid dram is equal to 1 teaspoon and 5 milliliters. So you're just doing the same thing, but just using a different table. So if you flip over to your questions in the back, we'll do a couple of them. So if you look at number 8. No, we'll start with number 1. If you look at number 1, you want to take 3 quarts, 2 milliliters. This one's a pretty easy one, but you put your cross up. You know you have 3 quarts. If you have quarts here, you do quarts here. You look in your chart. 1 quart is equal to 960 milliliters, and we can stop because that's what we want. 3 times 960 would be 2,880 milliliters because it would be divided by 1. Okay. Number 2, you're trying to find what 300 milliliters would equal in fluid drams. Okay, so you have 300 milliliters, and if you have milliliters here, you have milliliters here. in your chart, it tells you that 30 milliliters is going to be equal to 1 fluid ounce. So I apologize if I keep saying drams. But it's supposed to be 1 fluid ounce. 300 times 1 is 300. Divide it by 30. Take off your 0. 30 divided by 3 would be 10. So your answer would be 10 fluid ounces in the apothecary. Next, if you want to skip over, and pretty much 1 through 8 is done that way. 11 through 30, you're doing the same thing, just doing conversions. 31 through 50, you're doing the same thing. I will do an example for number 21. And it's just doing the 10 fluid ounces in the apothecary to milliliters. Kind of did one very similar to that, but now we're just going to the opposite. So 10 fluid ounces here, you're going to have fluid ounces here. 1 fluid ounce is equal to 30 milliliters, so we can stop. 30 times 10 would be 300. Because, that would be over 1. Okay, next we have, on page 51, we have some word problems with these. And all we're doing is a ratio proportion. And then if we need to do conversions, we'll do conversions within the ratio before we solve. So calculate the following doses, round to the hundredths place. So number 51, a drug is available as, this is the stock, 5 grains per 1 fluid dram. Make sure I say that correctly. And the order is for 20 milliliters. So you want to put liquids on the bottom, weights on the top, or vice versa, but you want to put them together. So you have 20 milliliters. So a dram is a liquid. So you would put it on the bottom with it, and then you're going to find X milligrams. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to convert this side to match this side. So instead of using grains, you're going to use milligrams. So your grains, if you did that, you want to take, and we'll do the conversions over on the side. Okay, so 5 grains, you want milligrams, but when you look in your chart, you know 1 grain is equal to 65 milligrams. Okay, so 5 times 65 would be 325. So this is going to be 325 milligrams. So now we have milligrams. Now we want to change this 1 fluid dram to 20 milliliters. And this one is just in your chart. You don't have to look it up, but it's 1 fluid dram is equal to 5 milliliters. So that one you can automatically just change. You don't have to do really a conversion. Okay, so we have milliliters. So now we can cross multiply. X times 5 would be 325 times 20 is 6,500. Then you divide that by 5 and it comes up to be 1,300 milligrams. Okay, so we'll do a couple more. Oops. So I'll do number 52. Again, a drug is available as 0.45 grams this time over 1 fluid ounce in the apothecary. And the order is for 20 milliliters. So fluid ounces on the bottom, you would put your, not 20, 15 milligrams. So that's going to go on top. And then you're going to have X here. X milliliters. Okay, making sure I read that right. Okay, so you want to know how many milliliters will that be. So you need to convert this side to match this side. So fluid ounces, if you look in your chart, again, this one's given. So if you have 1 fluid ounce in the apothecary equals to 30 milliliters. So that was automatically given to us. We don't have to do a conversion. Look in your chart, 0.45 grams. If you have grams here, you have grams here, and you need milligrams. So 1,000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram, and that would work out to be 450 over 1. So it's 450 milligrams. So then you're going to cross multiply 450x, if you want to put the x there, you can. 30 times 15 would go on top, and that would be 450 as well. And then divide that, you get 1. So it's 1 milliliter. Okay, if we look and skip around here, I'll do another one that's doing a little bit different. Number 66 is saying a medication order is for 10 grains total. How many 325 milligram tablets should you dispense? So normally you would take the order and divide it by the milligram of the tablet. So this one is just a simple division, but you have to convert first. So you have 10 grains. There's the medication order, but you have in stock 325 milligrams. So because you have the milligrams in stock, you need to convert this. So in my conversion area here, if you have 10 grains, and you want to make it into milligrams. If you have grains here, grains will go here. So 1 grain is equal to 65 milligrams. So 65 times 10 would be 650 milligrams divided by 1. This would be 650. So this would be 650 milligrams. So now you have them the same. You can convert, or you can just divide. Now that you've converted, 650 divided by 325 would give you 2 tablets. So for that medication order of 10 grains, you would need to dispense 2 tablets. Okay. So not all of these are going to be ratio proportion. They could just be simple division. So make sure that you reread, how what you are wanting. You can only do a ratio proportion if you know 3 numbers and you're missing 1. Okay. So if a little hint there, if you only have 2 numbers, more than likely you're just going to be a division or something like that, or multiplication. Okay. So that is the last example problem out 10.2. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.